Hey, it's Jessica DaMassa with WTF Health. I'm here at the HISA studio, and joining me right now, I have Marcus Dawe. He is the founder of Health Horizon, and this is cool. So you have cataloged all of the different health innovations from around the world, and you've created basically a searchable site so people can find out what's going on with different, not just startups, but different just health innovations,
That's right.
like broadly speaking. And so we had a long chat about what that meant exactly.
Yeah.
And so why don't you go ahead and explain some of the things that you are capturing here, because it's not just companies, it's also just innovative ideas, and it's not just digital health. It's, you even said more nutritious recipes for soup that are created by dietitians to help people with recovery. So give us a little bit of insight on what you're doing.
So 5 years ago, we thought how much health innovation is happening out there. There's obviously an explosion coming out of hospitals and out of different settings. And obviously the entrepreneurial community is developing a lot of health solutions. 30% of new startups are in health, for example, which is quite amazing. So we put our data mining hats on and went out there into all the public sources around, out of hospitals and universities and institutes, and we collected our first catalogue, and we got over 100,000 innovations, and we thought, wow, there's an explosion in innovation in health. And so we then sought to curate that, and we've done that now. And so really what we looked at is, what are the areas? And so we started to really look into public health and into digital health, which is an exploding field. And we now have this, massive catalogue, and we follow the innovation. The concept that we've developed is that an innovation starts at a particular point, and then we track it through its journey from first principle, like a first minimum viable product, right through to available and available for purchasing or integration or whatever.
And this is cool. So I got to search it and play with it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you can look up a company, or you can look up chronic condition management, and it will give you a whole list of things. And then the kind of information that you get is it did pull in from a couple of different sources.
That's
you can
right.
see it gives you like a little timeline of when it was launched, who some of their key customers might be, the latest customer they got, if they got some investment from somebody, if they've exhibited at a show recently, or if they sponsored something. So you get a different perspective on where the company is at.
That's right.
One of the things that we talked about a little bit, it's like, are you integrating funding data in this? And I like your reason why you're not necessarily focused on that. So talk a little bit about that.
So we've come really from a consumer and from a customer point of view, and that is they are looking for innovation. So a clinic is looking for the latest clinic information systems and trying to look for some evidence around adoption and which ones are good. The funding journey of something is interesting to investors, and investors are part of our group that use Health Horizon. But it's really about, what's of interest to consumers and people. And so we look at evidence. So we look at everything is evidence-based, or has an evidence-based approach to development. So there's no, kind of spurious treatments or anything like that there. Not a lot of focus on molecules, because pharma do their own thing. So it is medtech, biotech, public health and digital health. But we have therapies for remote area management clinics, right down to Parkinson's spoons and all those kinds of innovations that are fantastic for end users as well. But this is a timeline of advancement, which is a really important concept.
Advancement on the innovation, which is
right.
interesting, right?
Yeah, not just on the company.
Yeah.
So for us, we're not particularly interested in the company. We're focused on the actual innovation, and and we find that that's actually more helpful for the ecosystem. And which is one of the other things that we do in having found so many innovations and understanding the collaborations that have brought them together. We have an ecosystem map of different sectors. So it might be in orthopedic medicine in terms of developing new widgets for their arthroscope, or so there's a whole lot of segments and hundreds of segments in health.
Do you guys publish reports?
We do benchmarks,
Okay.
And we do ecosystem maps and things like that. So yes, we do for particular customers, and our customers are big pharma on one hand, networks of health innovation, so that's in the startup communities and things like that, but then also governments.
Okay.
So governments come to us and we answer questions for them, which is valuable in our data set.
Oh, can you tell us what kinds of questions you're being asked?
So if we set up a fund for genomics, how many applicants would we get? Where are they getting their current funding? What stage are they at? What are their solutions? And where are the gaps?
Okay.
So if we're going to set one up, we want to address the gaps. It might be the deadly divide, or it might be from clinic to first trial, or whatever it might be. So that we have that insight.
Okay. And how is it updated? Because this is really
Okay.
robust. You said over 100,000
Millions of
different
data points.
millions of data points,
Millions
but
of data points.
100,000 different
Yeah,
records that
yeah,
you've got, right?
that's
So I
right.
mean, how are you continuously updating this?
So we've built a human augmented machine learning system. And so the secret with this is that anyone can build a database, but keeping up to date is very hard.
Yes.
So we've used Microsoft Azure and some of the cognitive services there, as well as our own algorithms that go and mine and then create this pathway of curation, which gives us quality data. So we monitor, and there is a human in the loop, but it's increasingly less and less the human as the AI learns more about what our curator's like.
Very
So-
cool. I'm gonna have to. This is gonna become a regular now. I'm gonna have to bookmark it on
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
site so I can keep taking a
Yeah,
look. I
please
love
join.
it.
It's free to join. So
Okay.
it's free to join for anybody. And then we have professional subscriptions which allow you to save a search. So if you're interested in Parkinson's and you want to know anything new that it's emerging, because you hear the news, like new Parkinson's drug, trial stage 3, and then you hear nothing more of it. And so how do you follow that innovation? So you go into Health Horizon. We have updates every half hour on our site, and you'll see that new therapy, and you can say follow. And then as soon as there's any announcement, any advancement, you'll be notified immediately. So it puts you at the front of a continuous horizon scan of what's going on, and you can follow the innovation.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Really interesting.
Great.
I'm Jessica DaMassa with WTF Health here at the HISA studio. Thanks for joining us.